potential we have next year with all that dead money disappearing, with Drew Brees being what will be heralded as his final contract year with New Orleans. He might get an extension, but it'll be heralded as his last year in New Orleans possibly. All that can come for next year. Man, this year, if we can reach that, man, it's almost like the possibilities are endless. I mean, there's so much positivity that will come from that if it happens. It'll be like we'll renewed our faith in Sean Payton. We'll renew our faith in Mickey Loomis. Everything will be right as rain again. The world will be better. Angels will be flying in the air. Flowers won't die. It'll all be right in the world again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I will say they do have a young stud in Melvin Gordon. He's looked pretty strong. I mean, coming in finally. I mean, it's taken a while, but I mean, he's got 159 yards already. And Phillip Rivers is having a Drew Brees year. He's throwing 70%. But I will say, yeah, you're still right. I mean, that's talk about. I mean, we you've said it, and I've recently said it. We throw Sean Payton and stuff under the bus for potentially wasting Drew Brees in his prime, but Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees' replacement, that's a Super Bowl level quarterback who's never been given the ability to win one. You know, he's like that Dan Marino type. He's good enough to get there. He might get his team there on his effort alone, but they've never built a team around him that'll allow him to succeed like that. And I feel bad for him. Now, saying that, I still want to beat him, regardless of how I feel for Phillip Rivers. But Mike McCoy, like I said, that's one of the problems. I mean, how do you have a guy like Phillip Rivers who will throw 70% completions for the year, will throw 30 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns, and you can't even put a dent in the possibility of hitting the Super Bowl? And people use the argument that, you know, you got the Patriots and the Colts have held it for so long, but I'm sorry, that's not good enough for me, because you can use the argument that the Saints can't do it because, you know, the New York Giants are too good every year, or, you know, Aaron Rodgers. Every year is a different year in football, and it's your chance to make it, and they've never given that guy the chance. I know I went off on a rabbit trail. That one just irks me. Let me oh, you got some radio playing back there, boss? Well, let's segue this into what we really need to talk about is how can we beat the Atlanta Falcons? I know we started looking too far into the future when in reality we still got to take this one game at a time. So how are we going to stop Julio? How are we going to score on the Falcons defense? What are we going to do to win this game? Well, let me just add some proof to your pudding there. The Atlanta Falcons have one sack for the season. One. And that goes to Vic Beasley. That's it. That's all I got. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, this is. Say what you will about Matt Ryan. The guy's throwing 72.5% completion right now. He's on fire the first two games. But the way to defeat that, get ahead early on this Falcons team. They've never, since I've been watching them under Matt Ryan, been strong at coming back from a deficit. Never. Never seen it. You don't see Matt Ryan leading the league in fourth quarter comebacks. At least I've never remembered him doing that. I mean, I'm sure he's got a couple in his career, but he's not who I think of doing that. People I think that do that are like the Tom Bradys, the Eli Mannings, even the Drew Brees, not the Matt Ryans. Come out scoring quick, fast, and hard, get up by 14 points, force them to do nothing but pass, because they've taken 4 sacks this season. Matt Ryan has. I mean, so the pressure is able to get there. He's thrown a interception. Maybe we can force him into another. Force him to play from behind. That possibility gets a lot stronger. And I'm telling you, we usually have the Falcons' number. So this is the game to do it. This is the game to put the hammer down, build your confidence, and go into the next part of the season. I agree with you on how we should beat that defense. Because one of the Drew Brees' strengths has always been his play action. But play action only sells if there's been something to buy earlier. You can't do a play action if Mark Ingram and company have only run the ball 6 times and a half. Now, if they've done it 10, 15 times, that's going to bite hard, because we've already seen from Ingram, when he's been given the ball so far this season, he's run hard and hungry. I mean, he's wanted those yards. He's gobbled them up. He just hasn't had enough opportunity. This game, I think Sean Payton, for whatever reason, we don't know why. Maybe it's just, God's way of making sure that Saints fans stay happy somehow during the season if we're not meant to win the Super Bowl. Sean Payton usually always calls a great game against Atlanta. It just seems like everything's laid out meticulously and perfect, and he's been planning all year to rub some red and black into the dirt. And I'm hoping it's the same way this year. Uh-huh. Paul Kruger. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. I will say that was an unexpected one for me, but I can see it. I mean, it does make sense. Yeah. Well, let me say this: he's our only 4-down pass rusher. I mean, give credit to Edebali and Kruger. They can rush the passer. They're not every down type of players. It's Cam Jordan's just the only guy that we know they have to worry about double teaming no matter what, whether it be the run or the pass. And that's why he holds that advantage. But I do believe that Kruger and Edebali, can get to the passer if they're given the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, we'll say they're better than we thought they'd be a couple of seasons ago, especially that year that they were on Hard Knocks, just kind of the struggles that they had with the line in general. I thought they were going to be much weaker than they were, but I think we still have the advantage, but they've got a couple players on there who might be able to put up a good fight against us. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've had some struggles. I'll go ahead and pull that stat up if I can. Let's see. Yeah, their third down is 34.8% right now, which is, I mean, it's a little bit below average, but you would think a team like Atlanta, who's been known for their offenses for quite some time, similar to how the Saints have been, just to a smaller degree, you would think that they would be having more success. Now, I'll say this. They're not doing better. They're not doing worse than New Orleans. New Orleans, third down right now, 29.2. Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up, but it's only fair. I mean, if we're going to be truly unbiased as we possibly can against Atlanta, I mean, New Orleans has struggled on third down this year, which is usually something they are in the top of the league at. So hopefully they can turn that around. We've been allowing our opponents to convert third down 42.3% of the time. Yeah, well, we got I might just have a listener, but we got a caller who is in right now. 4727. You got anything that you'd like to add or any questions you have concerning the Atlanta Falcons game? Take that as a no, just listening in. That is fine. There's multiple ways that you can listen into this podcast. We do it on Uber Conference. We do it on Spreaker. We have it on Twitch.tv. There's just all kinds of ways you can tune in. So sometimes people just don't want to talk, and I understand. I talk enough for everybody. Yeah, I can see that coming from you. Now, let's go over this. This is honestly what it comes down to, because regardless of how well the Saints' defense does in stopping the offense for Atlanta, what New Orleans' staple has been since Sean Payton has been here has been the offense. We talked about running. We now have talked about third down conversions to a point, but I'll go over mine. But for you, what's going to be your key there, man? Mm-hmm.